I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's absolutely epic in here. All right, I don't care what anyone else says. I don't think it's boring. I think it's cool. This is our racing gear. I sent Jacob away to the US of A, and he obviously took his freedom with his manly meat hands to just completely demolish. Can I be honest? It got shot off. Bro, you went to a school, didn't you? Jacob, you're going to have to hold this at the front of the car. Let's launch the Camry. Oh, I'm holding it. Oh, it's quick. It's so linear. Decent. That's decent. Come on, baby, come on. Ooh. I can't see. Your hands are blocking it. 0 to 100 in seconds. I've come to the realization that there are two types of Toyotas in this world. You have the really quite bad ones like a Toyota Fortuner, Toyota Hilux. You know, those ones that aren't given much love, right? They give us the ick. Give us the ick. And then you have ones that you can inexplicably say unbelievably good. They're Toyota's favorite. They're clearly Toyota's favorites. Toyota gives some love and just gives some hate, clearly, to their own children. This is actually one of the really good ones. Some people out there say it's boring. It's boring.
I think it just gets old when you see it all the time on the road.
Yeah, and there is a reason that you see them all the time on the road, and that is because they simply do everything annoyingly well. So today we're going to take you for a full review of the new Toyota Camry. They call it a new generation. Really, it's just a heavy facelift with quite a lot of changes underneath the skin too. So I'll tell you all about that today. We'll check out the exterior, practicality, interior, of course. We will launch it, see just how fast it is from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. Now that it's hybrid only in Australia, RIP.
RIP, everything except HEV.
And then we are going to drive it, give it lots of sauce, and I'll give you my final thoughts should you go out and buy a Toyota Camry.
Probably.
Okay, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's start with the price and specs. So, price, it's gone up, obviously, everything has these days. It's about $2,000 to $2,500 more expensive. Now starts at $39,990. That is for the Ascent. This is the one I would get. It's the Ascent Sport. It's only $3,000 more. You get a huge more amount of inclusions. It's $42,990. And that is, of course, before on-road costs. And then if you're a sucker for stuff, you can spend $53,990 and you will get the SL, which is the top of the range. Don't recommend doing that. I don't think you need it.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more expensive for not a whole lot more kit.
Yes, and if you want to learn more about exactly what you get grade by grade, just Google CarSauce Camry review and you can see a full breakdown of everything that you get. And if you want to get the absolute best price possible at one of these, and you'd be nuts not to, you could join our many happy customers at CarSauce Buy. We have a dedicated team of car buyers who literally go out there, make dealers fight each other. Totally free for you, by the way, because we charge the dealers a fixed fee and they come back to you with the best prices and no obligation. You can choose one, but you don't have to.
And we've actually been getting really good feedback on it lately. So if you guys are enjoying it, leave us a comment.
Yeah, let us know. Have you bought a car through us? Okay, let's talk about the way that this thing looks, because frankly, I think it looks epic.
I honestly think it's a really tasteful upgrade at the front especially.
Yeah, it's really nice. I do like the way that the bonnet kind of goes into the headlights here. I will say that things are definitely going to get caught underneath that because it's quite easy to peel back, but still, it looks very cool. I like the daytime running light here and also your turn signals. Here on the Ascent Sport, you get upgraded LED lights, so a bit brighter than what you'd find on the base model Ascent. You have these aero here to streamline air across the side. A giant grille, though a lot of it is plugged up because, of course, this is an efficient hybrid. You don't need too much cooling for the relatively unpowerful, but also weirdly powerful 2.5 litre engine. You have your Toyota badge here, and I do have to say, I love it in this white metallic. It's so beautiful.
I think this is what we're going to see most on the roads.
I don't even like white that much. Not that can be taken out of context, but anyway, I love this. It looks so cool, especially with the silver little flicks to it. Jacob,
I love the new nose. Oh no, sorry.
Let's check out the side.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, coming to the side, now you're going to notice that this thing is quite a long boy. In fact, it's now about 30 millimeters longer than before. Depends what spec you go for. But I will say the wheelbase is exactly the same. Not that it really matters, as you'll see on the inside. These wheels,
17 inches.
There I go. I'm not going to lie to you. These are, 17-inch alloy wheels, multi-spoke. Going to be a real pain in the ass to clean. Blue Earth GT Yokohama tires, which are actually quite decent.
Yeah, I mean, no tire noise. What the hell was that?
Just got swooped. Yeah, very minimal tire noise. It's pretty good. You got an HEV badge there. That means HEV, or hybrid electric vehicle. Love that. You got a 360 camera here. That's great to see that it's specced with that. You have keyless entry and go.
Very nice.
No tinted privacy glass. So your Uber passengers, they're going to be mad.
They're going to be having the sun perv on them.
They're going to think, who the hell are you, cheapo? You didn't go for the SL. Can't believe you.
Should have ordered an Uber Black.
And yeah, you've got a sedan profile. It's pretty boring. Let's check out the bum.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, let's check out the rump derriere of the Camry. Again, I just think it looks good.
Yeah, they got the nice body colored inserts on the taillights. Very cool.
Again, you can just kind of peel it back a little bit, so I feel like things might get caught under there. I do like the new taillight design. You've also got LED turn signals.
Very, very nice.
Yes, well done. You don't get that on the very base model, but who cares, I guess, at that point. Camry is spelt out there. Also got the Toyota badge. Hev, spelt out there all nicely. Down the bottom, you got boring, scratchy plastic.
Very eco looking.
I don't know, I really like the way that this thing looks. Let us know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you like the looks of the new Toyota Camry?
Or is it a bit boring?
Ooh.
Ooh, Michael Jackson.
Now, you might be wondering, Matt, the most important part to me is the boot. And I'd say to you,
Good on ya.
you, okay? Let's talk about the boot space. 524 litres of boot space. That's quite a lot of literage. It's kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie, to put down the back seats. You have to pull these levers and then you have to go around and then push it. It's just like, come on. Anyway,
How often are you gonna be doing that?
Well, you might be doing it every second, Jacob.
That's true.
Who do you think you are? You have a couple of hooks here to hook stuff. You could also lift up under here. You get a little bit of storage, not much, because underneath is a space saver spare wheel.
I kind of like how you can hook the thing to the top though.
Yeah, it's
kind of cool.
It's cool, but how often are you changing your tires?
Bro, what about every millisecond?
Let's check out the interior.
Let's do it.
Alrighty.
Oh, that was a nice Toyota
Jacob.
thonk.
Let's talk about the interior now, okay? Is it a boom or is it a doom?
I think it's a zoom.
It's a boom. Guys, seen that one? I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's absolutely epic in here. All right, I don't care what anyone else says. I don't think it's boring. I think it's cool.
I think it's everything you need it to be.
Exactly right. It's everything you need it to be, nothing you don't want. It just works. I love this new cloth material. It's just like they've stylized cloth and made it cool.
It feels good too. Like it doesn't feel cheap at all.
No, it feels nice. I love the design from all the way around here. Yeah, it moves around a little bit, but who cares, right? Got these really supportive cloth seats, feel very, very good. This is the biggest reason that I would get this Ascent Sport over a base model Ascent, and that is the automatic adjustment allows you to have very, very good under thigh support and also very, very strong lumbar support there too. So if you're gonna be driving this thing a lot, a la Uber drivers, then you're gonna absolutely love it, especially in the Ascent Sport. It's only $3 more. Technology has seen a massive improvement. So now you get this huge, like 12.3-inch display. It's got wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Works really, really well. Connected to one of the best sounding base model 6-speaker stereo setups I have heard.
Honestly, it's audiophile level.
And like to the point where I haven't even adjusted any of the settings, and I always do. Like they've hit the nail on the head. It's spot on. It sounds so good. Doesn't get distorted at loud volumes. If you like your audio, you're gonna like it in here. I also think that this screen in front of you is fine. It's a TFT display. It's not the best thing in the world, but it shows heaps of information. It's actually quite fast as well. So they've clearly upgraded the processing power behind that. So yes, I'm happy. It shows the most basic graphics when you go between normal, sport, and eco. Literally just changes the color slightly.
It's very utilitarian.
It's the most minimal effort they could have put in, and they did that. Oh.
Oh yes, the leather steering wheel.
It feels so good to hold it in the hands. I really, really like this. It's plastic on the base model, so you definitely don't want that. On the left-hand side, you have your media controls. On the right-hand side, you have your cruise controls, including your adaptive cruise control, lane centering. We'll talk a bit more about that a bit later. Then up in front of you, you have your eye monitor. Thankfully, it doesn't really go off.
Yeah, even when you're wearing glasses, it seems to be working fine.
Totally fine. Soft touch materials are absolutely everywhere, which is really good to see. It means that the interior is a pretty quiet place to be. I'm not going to say it's the quietest thing in the world, but it's fine. Like you don't notice it.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, this center armrest is nice and soft. It's huge, and it has heaps of storage on the inside, including a 12-volt socky-wocky there. You got 3 USB-C ports up in front, a little storage area there, a wireless phone charger, again, part of that Ascent Sport. You get a couple of cup holders, a large glove box, but then some of the world's smallest door bins. They're very small. What's the point?
Honestly, at that point, just remove them.
Just bloody remove them. You can get a can in there, and that's about it. Otherwise, man, it's a bloody Camry. It says what it does on the tin. You get in here, you're very, very familiar. Down to the shifter. It's a physical shifter. Easy to use.
Yeah, no issues.
0 complaints.
Yeah.
I love this interior space. It's just, I like it. It's really nice.
I just want to give a shout out to the telescoping, adjusting steering wheel as well, because for driving position, very important. All right,
Cool.
All right, calm down. Calm down.
Let's talk about the back seat.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, guys.
Ooh, that sounded actually echoey.
Yeah, that wasn't the best. That was a bit metallic-y.
Yeah.
At least this is all nice and soft touch, so again, helps to soak up road noise. Now, I'm 5'11". I've got so much legroom. Toe room as well is fantastic. Headroom is also very, very good indeed. Got a couple of air vents here and a couple more USB-C fast chargers, so literally a USB-C port for everyone. Everyone gets a USB-C port.
It's a USB-C fest.
These seats, oh, they're the same really nice cloth as before. I love cloth because you know what? It's better for temperature regulation.
It's very true.
Pull this down.
It's a bit of a flip-floppy armrest, isn't
Yeah,
it?
a bit weird. Anyway, that's nice and soft. A couple of cup holders there as well. That feels very cheap indeed.
Can I ask you a question, Matt? Do you feel like it's dark and cavernous back there?
Yeah, Matt pockets too. Do I feel like it's dark and No, it's fine.
Cool. I've heard that criticism, that's all.
Yeah, no, there's heaps of glass. It's fine. Like, it's a bit dark, maybe on a bright day, but like, yeah, she'll be right. All right, Jacob, let's launch it.
Let's do it.
So, this is our racing gear. I sent Jacob away to the US of A, right? Freedom land. And he obviously took his freedom with his manly meat hands to just completely demolish.
Can I be honest? It got shot off.
Bro, you went to a school, didn't you? Okay, so with that, because this thing has to stay still, Jacob, you're going to have to hold this at the front of the car and hope to God that it tells us an accurate time
I'll try my best.
before I find some sort of solution.
We have no fix
to fix it.
Should I just press it in there?
Yeah, press it in there.
And just do that? Oh God, I'm a little bit scared of being in this position, I'm not gonna lie. If the airbags go off, I might lose my arms.
That's what WorkSafe is for, baby.
Oh, here we go. Yep.
Are we locked on?
It's locked on.
Alrighty. So, now we're going to launch. Don't worry, I will fist you for you. We're in sport mode now.
Let's launch the Camry Hybrid.
That was really expensive.
Oh! I'm holding it.
Actually feels pretty good.
Oh, it's quick.
It's so
That's
linear.
decent. That's decent.
Come on, baby, come on.
Ooh.
I can't see. Your hands are
You
blocking
can't
it.
say. 0 to 100 in 7.29 seconds.
So a little bit slower than they claim. They claim 0 to 100 in 7 seconds, but you know what? It'll do.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
All right, let's drive it normally.
Let's.
Alrighty, friend. Driving.
Oh. Uber driver, slow down, please. I'm going to give you a 4-star, not a 5-star.
Driving the Toyota Camry.
It's pretty bloody good, isn't it?
It's just one of those cars that you just struggle to fault.
Can I just say, I don't know what the hell everyone's talking about. This car is not boring.
It doesn't feel boring.
This is a great car.
I said in my pants. It certainly doesn't have a boring engine because there's a ton going on here. Let's start with the actual engine. So it's a 2.5 litre naturally aspirated Atkinson cycle.
Ooh, very efficient.
Very efficient indeed. And it doesn't actually put out a huge amount of power, 138 kilowatt of power.
221 newton meters of torque.
Yeah.
But that is by design.
Oh, it's by design. That's because there's actually 2 electric motors, but we're just going to go with the one for now. So that's
a middle finger to everyone that makes these specs harder to remember.
It's so hard to remember. But essentially, there is a motor at the front axle, and that puts out
100 kilowatts of power.
Somehow combined, it's 170 kilowatt, unknown amount
Toyota
of newton meters.
magic.
I would say it's about 300 and something newton meters of torque, because it does feel pretty torquey.
And planted.
Now you might be wondering, Matt, where the hell is the second electric motor? Well, there is a second electric motor, and that is used solely to start the engine. Essentially, it's called an ISG, integrated starter generator, and yeah, it's just a tiny electric motor that smoothly starts the engines when you plant your foot. Ooh, the engine is so smooth.
It doesn't just kind of roughly begin. But
No.
you know what? It's mostly so that you can tell your friends and say this car has 2 electric
Yeah,
motors.
exactly right. 170 kilowatt is 10 kilowatt more than before. Do you really notice it? Not really.
No,
But
I mean, this car was already pretty zippy, I'm not going to lie.
the crazy thing about it is it literally just keeps pulling. That's the weird part about the Camry. It doesn't necessarily feel fast, like from when you're, let's say, 60, you put your foot down. It's not actually that fast.
It builds nicely, though.
It's like quite linear. Let's
Yeah.
put the car into sport mode. Said no Camry driver ever. Would you like to take a break?
Yes,
No.
Uber driver, I would.
So yeah, it is weirdly fast. Handling is also quite nice. It feels quite good to turn, actually.
Oh yeah, but if you put yourself in the mindset of an Uber driver, could you see yourself driving this for 8-9 hours a day?
Honestly, yeah. You don't even, like, it's almost like it's not even a car. You just get used to it. You turn a corner and yeah, it body rolls more than any sedan really should, but no one cares.
No one cares when they're on the way to the airport how much body roll the car has.
Yeah. So Jacob is saying all this Uber stuff because 70% of people who purchase this are fleets, i.e. Uber rideshare.
Pretty much Uber.
Yeah.
And what's the other company? DD? Is that even a thing
yeah,
in
it's
Australia?
still a thing in Australia. So yeah, the reality is that a lot of these that you see driving around, you have a 70% chance that they're going to be an Uber. But for the 30% that do buy this just normally, I actually think you're just getting one of those cars that will literally go forever.
100%. And I think that 30% is still a lot of people. Like, you see a lot of these on the road, and I totally get why.
Yeah.
It just kind of does everything. It's like when we had the RAV4, and we were just like, this car is so frustrating because as car critics, we want stuff to talk about, and there's just nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. Let's just say this ain't no Toyota Hilux. All right.
or the
my little pickle.
Fortuner.
Here we go. Sport mode again.
Let's do it. Quiet. Ooh, did you feel the electric starter generator?
I didn't, actually.
Exactly.
But I will say, the engine, it is quite raspy. I don't know what people are talking about when they say it's not. Okay, Toyota Camry, pop off, king.
Oh. That was pretty awesome, man.
Honestly, way better than I expected. For a front-wheel drive car that has no electronic diff, it did weirdly well. Okay, this is the first time I've driven the Camry, honestly, in sport mode, and honestly, around a corner like that. I have been driving it so sedately because it almost gamifies driving, right? Like you want to get you want to see as much of this as possible. The EV badge there, that tells us that, in fact, we are driving an electric vehicle mode and efficient. As soon as it goes away, we're using the engine. And here's the thing, it's fuel efficient, so I've been getting 4.8 litres per 100 kilometres, but I don't know how anyone can say they are getting less because I have been driving in urban settings mostly.
Yeah, which is where this thing should excel in terms of economy.
And on the highway, I'm getting about 4.8 litres as well, so it's actually quite consistent. But it's very fuel efficient, don't get me wrong, but it's not like 4.2 litres. And you might be like 4.8, 4.2, that's not very different. Actually, it's almost like 20%. Like, it is actually quite different. Yeah, look, it's very good, but I'm not going to go out and say that it's not Honda Accord, which is like 3.9 litres.
And it is one of those cases where, I guess, Toyota's been at the top of the game for so long, and everyone just kind of still considers Toyota to be the best. But the competition has kind of crept up a bit in terms of fuel economy. Like, we're seeing some cars achieving sub 5. Even like I'm driving an i30 Sedan hybrid right now, which is seeing sub 5. It's still really good. It's near top of the class, but it's not the absolute best.
No, and in fact, that Sedan hybrid, which, to be fair, is a smaller car, it's a lighter car, it feels cheaper as well. But I was getting 3.9 litres on some routes.
Wow.
So, yeah, this can be really, really good, but I don't think it's like top of the class.
No.
But maybe in reliability, it is. I don't know. Oh, and last thing I want to talk about is the safety systems. I think that they're well tuned in that they don't go off too often, but I don't think that it's got the best lane centering.
No.
It's just okay. It'll hook you up-ish in the center of the lane, but other systems just do it better.
Yeah, and honestly, like, if we go back to the whole Uber shtick that we've been doing, I think as an Uber driver, you should have both hands on your wheel at all times.
Yeah.
Just for your passengers' comfort.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the self-driving.
Don't drive like this. This is not the way to drive.
No. Oh, don't use Matt as a role model.
And with that, let's get into our final thoughts.
Let's.
Alrighty, guys. Final thoughts on the new Toyota. Thinks I've left something. The new Toyota Camry, should you go out and buy one of these things? Well, I'll be honest with you, you probably are already going out and buying one of these things, especially if you like to do that Uber. Right? You know who you are. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this thing is really quite fantastic. I don't think it's too expensive. I think it drives well, good fuel economy. It's got a nice interior.
Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of the packaging, it's as good as it gets.
And yes, you might be seeing a million of these on the road, but there's a reason you are. And if you want to blend in, well, you've got the right car to do it. But let us know what you guys think down in the comment section. Would you go out and buy yourself a Toyota Camry? Have you already gone out and bought one? And if you haven't used our car buying service, CarSauce Buy,
Then what the hell's wrong with you?
you're nuts. So just Google us, you get the best deals. You'd be stupid not to. But anyway, I'll leave that up to you. Ciao for now.
Bye-bye.